Hello, Laura. This is Anthony Marr of AM Advisors. I thought rather than sending you pages and pages of reports that I would show you how we can generate reports out of QuickBooks. We are QuickBooks Pro Advisors, certified Pro Advisors, and we use QuickBooks. However, we're familiar with many different types of other accounting packages, but we are mostly geared and trained, and our expertise focuses in on QuickBooks. Now, I'll start opening up QuickBooks for us. QuickBooks, the most current version right now is QuickBooks 2013, as you will see as you're opening up. QuickBooks is owned by Intuit, and Intuit also owns a number of other programs. And let me open up this samples file. And QuickBooks is owned by Intuit that also owns Quicken. However, QuickBooks is their most robust accounting package, which we use for many of our clients, which are also majority of them, if not all, are business owners. And that is really our focus, is our businesses. However, we look at businesses and individuals such as, and especially people of that is of a higher net worth. A balance sheet is very important for them. This is QuickBooks 2013. As you can see, this is the home menu, and it's like many other different, accounting packages. There's menus, and there's driven by icons, as you can see here. But let me just focus in on the area of reports, which I will drive to through here. And inside the reports, we look at we can focus and customize these areas to the client's needs. But there are a lot of reports that are very that are normal in generating, and one of these things are a profit and loss statement. It's a company here. However, we would set this up as the individual, and it would be the individual that we are generating the financials for. There is a profit and loss, and profit and loss in detail, which we can break down into many different areas. But let me drive you through things. One of the things might be interesting to your client is an income and expense year, which they call profit and loss, but income and expense year, and comparing it to previous years. And when we look at this, I'm going to drive down a little bit, and one of the areas that we wanted to see is where we can compare income and expense graph, where the client can see, what categories their expenses in by a pie chart or a graph, and we can break that down into different subcategories. We wouldn't want to break it down into 50 different categories. We would probably have subsets that would break into major categories such as contributions, or even interest payments if they have any, or other expenses, maintenance and items such as that. The other area I want to drive to is the balance sheet. And the reason we look at the balance sheet is because of net worth of someone, which I believe is very important to them, and also for financial planning, for the financial advisors that help the client with their financial picture. Here we have, which I want to get to, is a net worth graph. That's going to be a net worth, and it's going to be by month or by quarter, and we can set that range. And then by year, the net worth graph, so you can have a snapshot of where you look, what your net worth is, and that is driven by your balance sheet. So as we classify your assets, should you choose to want us to do that for you, which I think that you would want to, because we have a centralized bank of information for all of your financial assets, revenue, expenditures, and also your assets, cash, liquid assets, non-liquid assets, and liabilities that you might have. And then that would obviously as your clients or business owners themselves, would understand that we would probably come up, and this is driven by the net equity section, that would give them their net worth graph, which we can then customize for them. And also one of the other important areas is cash flow, statement of cash flows for the year, and also a cash flow forecast. Now, let me take us to another area that we had talked about. No, these might not be as relevant for them. One of the areas is your payables. We will be able to make sure that we record all the payables and when they're due to be paid, and we would have a graph of the categories of the expenditures or by vendor, whichever way we choose, as to how much you're paying someone. Might be legal fees, might it be remodeling fees, or whatever project your clients are working on. Those can be graphed out so that they would see where their expenditures are in a graph format, which then can be driven down back into the statement itself. Obviously, there might not be any might not be employees, but let me cut this short and get to budgets and forecast. Inside, we can set budget, and we can also set the budget, and then actually we'd have the budget versus actual, what is occurring by month or by quarter or by year, and that would be a budget versus actual report. And we can put that into a graph, or the QuickBooks would be set up so that a graph will come out so that you can have more visual pictures of what you're doing, budget versus actual graph. Forecast. I don't know if we would be doing that for you. Obviously, forecasting where your expenditures might be, or maybe you're on a project that might be a remodel or a new second home, or any venture you might be going into that is not yet formalized in a separate set of books. We can include that in your personal financial statements and also forecast what we expect to have there. So, in short, without going on and on, these are some of the reports that we believe that could be relevant to your client. Obviously, there's more and more items. This would be set up so that we can be ready to turn this over, an adjusted trial balance of what's going on. I don't know. I don't see that as being actually real relevant at this time, but it can break down into the general ledger. We'd have an audit trail of what was going on in your items, probably after year end, and this would be all set up also so that we would make it easy to report to your accountant for tax reporting purposes at year end, actually even capturing the gains and losses of stock trades should you want that. So if you have any other questions, please let me know. Once again, this is Anthony Marr, and that is just a small snapshot of some of the reports that we can generate for you. QuickBooks, this can be driven online. I did recommend that we might consider going online with this so that the clients have ownership to this and it is accessible to them online at any given time. And if it is not housed online version, we will still make that or maintain this at your client's computer, either at their house, and we would ask that we would have remote access into a certain drive so that we can access the QuickBooks folder and run the items either remotely for them or upon our visits to your clients, our staff or myself would be working on this directly on their laptop or office computer. So there you go. We would probably be a personal outsourced CFO for your client. And if you have any questions, Laura and your client, please let me know. And if you want to do a live demonstration, we can do that. But I recommend that we go through some discovery with your client so that we can see what their needs are and map out what they are feeling most important for them so that we can at least generate a presentation that would be a little bit more custom to their overall needs if they choose to want to see that. So anyway, Laura, thank you very much, and we appreciate the opportunity of offering our services, and thank you for taking your time. Good night.